I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's a
agree on
given.
that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out.
Melania Trump's $100 million lawsuit against The View isn't merely another case of celebrity drama. It's a cultural flashpoint that's sparking intense debates about media ethics, public image, and the delicate balance between free speech and defamation. The controversy began during a typical episode of The View, the notorious talk show known for its heated debates and unapologetic hosts. What started as a routine conversation about Donald Trump's presidency quickly veered into a more personal discussion about Melania's life. That's when things took a sharp turn. The hosts didn't just offer opinions, they made bold and inflammatory claims. According to Melania's legal team, these statements were not only false, but also malicious.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's a
agree on
given.
that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady anymore.
They agree with
She
you.
doesn't want to be the first lady. She destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want to have anything to do with him.
about that.
She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Allegedly.
And she does.
Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know all this.
Allegedly. That's why I say allegedly.
Before we dive deeper into this case, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on all the latest Hollywood news. The hosts went so far as to claim that Melania didn't want to be First Lady, hated Christmas, and couldn't stand sleeping in the same room as her husband. They also accused her of ruining the Rose Garden and implied that she was merely an unwilling participant in her husband's political spectacle.
Allegedly, he was cheating while Melania was pregnant.
That was all. That's not going to come in front of the jury, though. The judge has ruled
Well,
that
we're
won't
not.
come up.
We're on television now. And then after Melania gave birth to the baby, he found Stormy to strip around with, right?
Yes.
It's like people should look at him and say, you know, what kind of an insecure jerk are you? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, my wife's pregnant. I'm not attracted to her big belly or something. And now she's paying attention to the baby and not me.
These weren't casual remarks. They were delivered with such certainty that they blurred the line between opinion and fact. What made this segment truly explosive wasn't just the content, but the tone. These comments didn't feel like constructive criticism or thoughtful analysis. They were steeped in ridicule, as if the hosts relished the opportunity to mock someone they assumed would never fight back. But fight back, she did, just not in the way they likely expected.
But apparently, his wife has different thoughts on the reproductive rights after posting this video plugging her memoir. Take a look.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
To understand why this controversy is resonating so deeply, we need to take a closer look at Melania's public persona. Unlike her husband, who thrives in the spotlight, Melania has worked hard to maintain an image of quiet dignity. She rarely gives interviews, stays out of public feuds, and values her privacy, traits that are unusual for someone in her position. This reserved approach has made her something of an enigma. While some admire her for staying above the fray, others are quick to fill in the blanks with their own assumptions. And that's exactly what happened on The View. When Melania doesn't actively shape her own narrative, others take it upon themselves to do it for her. In this case, the hosts painted a picture of her as bitter, disengaged, and trapped in a life she never wanted.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
And this take is pretty shocking.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's a
agree on
given.
that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out.
Wow. I mean, that is violent. They've got to stop talking like that about a former president who's had 2 assassination attempts. I mean, that's just ignorant.
For Melania, This wasn't just an attack on her character, it was a direct threat to the image she has carefully crafted over the years in today's social media-driven world, where narratives can spread in the blink of an eye. The potential for reputational damage is immense, so she chose to take action. Her response, a $100 million defamation lawsuit, a bold move that sent a clear message she's not backing down. Melania's legal team argues that the statements made by The View hosts were not only false but deliberately harmful. They claim these remarks weren't made out of carelessness, but were part of a calculated effort to damage her reputation. Winning a defamation case is notoriously challenging, especially for public figures. Melania must prove not only that the statements were false, but that they caused real harm and were made with actual malice. This means showing that the hosts knew their comments were false or acted recklessly in disregarding the truth. It's a tough battle, but the stakes are enormous. If she wins, it could set a new precedent, forcing media outlets and talk shows to think twice before making potentially damaging claims about public figures. On the other hand, if she loses, it could embolden her critics and send a message that public figures are fair game, no matter how harsh the criticism.
Why can't she just be her own woman and have separate?
And she can.
And so why all that criticism? I mean, that was gross from The View. And look, The View is not the litmus test of America. We don't think that.
They were afraid of that remark. That was their problem.
So why did they handle it that way?
Let's take a moment to consider The View itself. The show has built its reputation as a platform for bold opinions and lively debates where no topic is off limits, and the hosts are encouraged to speak their minds, no matter how controversial for its fans. The View is a breath of fresh air, a space where women can tackle politics, culture, and current events without holding back. For its critics, however, it's a breeding ground for unchecked bias and sensationalism. The show has faced backlash numerous times for its hosts' comments, and this isn't the first instance it's been accused of crossing the line. What sets the Melania lawsuit apart, however, is the potential fallout. A $100 million judgment wouldn't just affect the hosts, it could deal a major financial blow to the network itself. Such a ruling could force The View to reassess its approach, potentially leading to stricter editorial guidelines and a more cautious tone. And for a show that thrives on controversy, that would represent a massive shift.
But in the Trump era, if any other national Republican candidate running for president, if their spouse came out and said, I am pro-choice and I even support late-term abortion, their career would be over. But it underscores the hypocrisy with Trump and that just nothing matters within the Republican Party at this point. I think it's twofold. I agree. I think it's strategic, even though it was written a while ago. I think they think this is going to give Republicans permission or independence to be like, oh, I guess I could vote for him because people who support abortion can. But it's also money. Who was going to buy this book outside of MAGA diehards? But now it's buzzy. Now we're talking about it because she's putting some stuff out there that's more interesting.
Among the many allegations made on The View, the claim that Melania hates Christmas has become one of the most discussed. While it may seem like a minor issue at first glance, it actually reflects a much broader cultural debate. Christmas is more than just a holiday. It's a symbol of family tradition and shared values. To accuse someone of hating Christmas is in essence to challenge their character and their place within those values. For Melania, who served as First Lady and represented the U.S. on the global stage, such an accusation carries even greater weight. The Christmas claim also brings attention to a larger issue: how public figures are perceived and judged. Melania has often been criticized for appearing distant and disengaged, and this accusation fits neatly into that narrative. But the real question is it fair to judge someone's entire character based on a single comment or rumor? That's one of the central issues fueling this controversy.
These are such vile comments, but they are exactly what The View's audience loves. It's targeted perfectly at a radically feminist, liberal audience that loves hate. Another now. This is loving and tolerant rhetoric the left uses, which they accuse the opposing side of using. And this one, those women are a danger to America. They do more than anyone else to stoke political and social tensions. The former president says he thinks his wife should be allowed to think for herself.
As with many issues in the Trump era, public opinion on this lawsuit is deeply divided. For Melania's supporters, the lawsuit is a necessary stand against a media culture that often oversteps its boundaries. They see it as a way to hold powerful platforms accountable and to assert that even public figures deserve respect and dignity for her critic. However, the lawsuit is viewed as an overreaction, an attempt to silence her detractors and control the narrative. They argue that as a public figure, Melania should expect scrutiny, even if that scrutiny leans toward speculation. This case also mirrors broader cultural tensions. On one side, there's a growing demand for media accountability with the belief that platforms like The View should be fair and accurate in their commentary. On the other, there's concern that lawsuits like this could have a chilling effect on free speech, potentially preventing media outlets from taking risks or challenging powerful figures.
Listen, take him seriously and take him literally.
I don't think that we have to. I think it would be remiss of us to not say Joe Biden knows how to do this.
Yes.
He knows how to do this. He's quite good at this. And you know, you can't refute anything with him because he just, when I say him, I mean
He rambles.
Trump.
Yeah.
He tends to just
But can I mention one thing?
At its core, this case is about more than just Melania Trump or The View. It's about the evolving role of media in an increasingly polarized world. In an age where a single comment can go viral in seconds, the stakes for media personalities have never been higher. But with that power comes great responsibility. The question is, are platforms like The View living up to that responsibility?
So what do you love most about your husband? His being, his humor, his personality, his kindness. He's very special. His positivity, his energy, it's unbelievable. So we have a beautiful relationship.
Melania's lawsuit forces us to confront some uncomfortable truths about modern media. Where do we draw the line between opinion and defamation? Should talk show hosts be held to the same standards as journalists? How do we balance free speech with the need for accountability? These are tough questions, and the outcome of this case could set a significant precedent. If Melania wins, it could signal a shift toward greater media accountability. If she loses, it might reinforce the idea that public figures are fair game for even the harshest scrutiny. This lawsuit is more than just a celebrity feud. It's a cultural battle that challenges how we discuss public figures in the media. Whether you view it as a fight for justice or a publicity stunt, one thing's clear. This is a story that has everyone talking, and it's far from over. So, if you enjoyed today's VIDE, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.